Hi, my name is Layla. I was born in Bunbury, Australia on November the 23rd. Growing up, I was pretty lonely. I only had a few friends who were pretty toxic and I struggled a lot at home. Everything was an effort for me. Showering, brushing my teeth, you name it. I had a tantrum over everything. I struggled with updates or if I had to get a new pair of headphones, and I had a lot of problems with my eating. In 2011, I decided that I wanted to sew. In 2012, I joined a sewing class. I made mittens, skirts, pencil cases, dresses. I even bought a sewing machine later that year. I made mini pillows and gave it to the kids in my class. It was a blast, but it wasn't very fulfilling. In 2013, I fell into a heavy depression. I would sleep at 3 p.m., miss school all the time, and not allow anyone to open my door to my bedroom. I had a few friends, but they were okay. We weren't really close. They were more like classmates. Popularity was everything to me. It was so important. I would try to mingle with as many people as I could to boost my social status. I was always worried about what my life would look like if I wasn't hanging with the most popular people. I later dropped sewing completely and joined a drama class. It was alright. It was mostly just to avoid the house. I liked the idea of making things, not really acting. I didn't like being in the spotlight or seeing myself, and I felt pretty lost in my interests as I only really enjoyed the creative process of the film, not really doing the film itself. In 2014, I went to high school. I was bullied a lot on my first term there. I would go home and cry almost every day, so much so that it was only one term for me to be looking for a new high school. I was completely infatuated with social status. I was spitting out my food and starving myself, to the point of blacking out, so then I could be skinnier and fit in. I wanted to be a model so badly, and I felt ugly and alone. I had my entire life planned out. I was going to be a model, I was going to get a lot of money and live in this big mansion, and I was going to have a husband who was like perfect, and it was all going to be great. I felt very alienated from my life. Drama was a breath of fresh air to get out of the house. During this time, to add to the stress, I also found out that I was bisexual after crushing on my best friend. I was repulsed by the way I felt, and I thought it was so strange because I'd never heard anything about it and didn't even know what it meant to be gay until this point. During the second half of 2014, our drama class announced that we would be making short films and we would get to write it this time rather than the teacher. I met a few friends there and we formed a film group and we made up our plot. Twee witches getting guys. Cringy. We ran out of time to write it, so I offered to take it home. I used my sister's laptop and it was done really quickly. I took the script with me to our next class and everyone loved it. The teacher read it and everyone in my group thought it was a great idea, so we filmed it. I watched that short film many times in awe that those were my ideas on the screen. I loved the filmmaking process and I loved the screenwriting process. And slowly, after loving these hobbies, I began loving myself. In July of 2015, my friend had her water bottle on the table, and it was really wet, and I was worried it was going to come on my work. But then I wasn't too worried because I thought, well, at least it's not like important papers, like legal documents or something. I then thought that this would be a good plot for a script, so I tried to remember if I got it from a movie or not, and I realised I hadn't. So I instantly got the idea. I started writing down on my hand all these ideas for a short film. I wrote murder case, courtroom, water spills on evidence, and I raced home as fast as I could. I took my sister's laptop and I spat out the entire script. My finished script was about a girl whose best friend had been murdered. So while trying to compile evidence, she accidentally destroys some of it by letting her water bottle leak all over it. But then it just turns out to be a prank by the prank patrol and friend's actually alive. I took it into class and we actually had to add extra characters because everyone in my class loved it. I took a smaller role at this time to do behind the scenes instead and I absolutely loved it. Editing my creation was so fulfilling and having a big say in everything behind the scenes was so fun. This is when I started to discover that writing might be more than just a hobby. I started doing it in my free time a lot. I started writing a new script, except this one was a novel style in first person and it amounted to more than 500 pages. It was loosely based on my life and mostly used to inspire other people with my problems. But it was for me also to get over my problems and to put all that anger and energy into my page. In the midst of writing, I forgot about my weight, popularity, wanting to be a rich model. I realized that I liked being different, and that's where this whole look comes in. All I could see was screenwriting. If I had an issue, I would take it out on paper. I made script after script, long and short. My most recent short film was based on my experiences going through sexual harassment at the age of 13. It was A Remedy. I wrote the script in 3 days, and it's my favourite one so far. In 2018, I finally got into an ECU film competition. The theme was bullying, particularly toxic friends. I wrote the script in a day, tracing back from early days with toxic friends. I got into finals, and I got to go to the campus to celebrate. Being at ECU really boosted my passions. I knew that I'd want to do screenwriting as a career, no matter the cost. I knew I would throw myself in completely. I did the competition again in 2019 and will be competing again this year, after the coronavirus stuff blows over. I spend all my free time screenwriting and doing whatever I can to ensure that one day I will fulfill my dream of being a small-based screenwriter in Perth. The thing that I love about film is it inspires people and also gives people an outlet for escapism. And that's what it's always been for me. Screenwriting in film takes you to another world and allows you to walk in a new person's shoes. I think our minds are shaped by the stories we hear and the things we see. The ability to inspire and help people with film is something that nothing else can fulfill. I want to be known for putting a spotlight on issues people think they're invincible to and teach them how to overpower every time. Thank you for listening.